Hey, welcome to another episode of Amp Up Solar Talk. Today we're talking about a brand new addition to the Signature Solar lineup, the Briggs Stratton Power Protect Residential Standby Generators. Joining me today is John Funkhouser to share about how these generators can provide reliable home backup power and how they can work alongside solar and battery systems for a complete energy solution. If you're watching us live, be sure and drop your questions in the chat. We'd love to include you in the conversation. Hey, John, welcome to the show.
Hi, how you guys doing today?
We're doing great, and we're so thankful to have you here. So, John, for those who may not know, tell us who Briggs & Stratton is and what is their history in the power industry.
Okay. Well, Briggs themselves was founded in 1908. They're corporately based just outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Throughout its history, Briggs has been known primarily for its small air-cooled engines that have been used to power a lot of outdoor power equipment. You can still find our engines on just about any major brand name of push mower, zero turn tractor, portables, and snow throwers. And again, additional outdoor power equipment. Our Vanguard engine, that's actually the engine we use in all of our air-cooled generators, is actually the world's largest or best-selling commercial air-cooled engine on the market. These have more applications than any other commercial engine out there. If you look at the standby category specifically, Briggs entered the standby power category about 20 years ago. But prior to actually selling into the standby generator category, we were actually selling our motors to people that were already producing home standbys in the marketplace. About 5 years ago, we also purchased Simplify Power, who a lot of your customers, I'm sure, are very familiar with from the energy storage space. Quite frankly, we kind of saw where the market was going and felt it would be a good complement to add energy storage along with our standby offering. On top of that, obviously, you look at a lot of outdoor power equipment right now moving toward electrification. We've also started manufacturing Vanguard battery packs that we sell to OEMs for the larger outdoor power equipment that is now requiring batteries versus a gaseous engine, as well as some additional applications such as like Club Car, the golf cart company. So we actually have a license agreement with them for their battery packs. So we're looking at looking at power in general, not just engines anymore, but also with batteries as well.
So you've now entered the energy storage space, but you're really well known for those engines.
100%.
Yeah. So when you first entered the standby home generator market, what do you think really sets you apart from other generator brands?
We truly believe it's our quality in our engine. That's why we offer the industry-leading 7-year part labor and travel warranty with all of our generators. The engine itself is going to be the heart and soul of the generator. We strongly believe that we have the best engine out of any residential home standby generator out there. We also strive to provide the best support to any of our customers, whether it be a contractor that's installing or a resident or a consumer that's the end user. I know it's going to sound old school, but ever since 1908, quality and customer service has been one of the core pillars of Briggs & Stratton.
If it's something that people can count on, why change it, right?
Yep.
Right. So you said that 7 years is what your warranty is. What do you think your competition? What is their warranty? Most is it 5 years across the board mostly?
So you look at the two major residential competitors. You have Generac and Kohler. Generac's base warranty is a 5-year warranty, but it's limited. You'll get parts, labor, and travel the first 2 years, and it becomes limited pieces years 3 through 5. Kohler themselves does offer a full 5-year part, labor, and travel warranty, but we're able to beat them by 2 years because of the quality of our units.
That's great. So can you walk us through the different sizes in the Power Protect line and help us understand when each might be the right choice for our customers?
We have 4 sizes of generators that are commonplace for residential homes: a 13, 18, 22, and 26 kW. Sizing, a lot of it depends upon, one, the square footage of your home, along with what type of appliances you have in a home. And are they powered by electric or gas? A lot of those appliances we're going to typically look for are going to be your hot water tank, your stove, your oven, those larger appliances that can be a big electrical draw. Also, we're going to look at the size of your air conditioner. If you happen to live in a home that is pretty much all gas appliances and just has one air conditioner, the 13 kW will probably be the best option for you. Anything that if you live in more of an application to where you have more of an all-electric home, that's when you're going to start bumping up into size into the 18 through 26 kW generator. Other thing we're starting to look at now, especially with the acquisition of Simplify, is that if you happen to live in an area that you lose power more so for an hour or two, the battery option may be a better option for you than a standby generator. Because if something would change to where you end up losing power more frequently and with longer durations, you can always add a generator to help supplement the battery charge.
Mm-hmm. So what I hear you saying is a generator may be a good additional backup to a battery system that may already be set up with solar and battery backup. Is that true?
Yes. So we're starting to see that more and more right now. As the grid becomes more taxed and energy pricing is going sky high, increasing, more time of use type billing, it's going to force consumers to start looking for other avenues to help supplement the cost of what their energy prices. When it's all said and done, you're going to have people looking to find other options. So there's options to be solar, battery storage, or a generator. Mm-hmm. We're going to be able to offer two of those three avenues. Obviously, you guys have the ability to offer all three, but it's going to be the easiest way for people to help supplement the pricing increase they're going to get from their energy use.
Right. And what kind of fuel options are available with the Power Protect line?
Well, the generators themselves run on either liquid propane or natural gas. One of the big advantages of our product is that 70 to 75% of U.S. homes have access to natural gas. And we actually are able to provide you the largest power output on natural gas compared to our competition. We're able to turn on larger motor starting loads. We have the largest motor starting kVA out of anyone in the marketplace. Additionally, if you look at our 18 and 22 kW, you typically have to derate on natural gas by 10% on residential generators. We are actually able to give you 18 or 22 kW of output regardless of fuel source, where competition's 22 is going to be actually at 19 and a half. So it gives us a big advantage in giving us the opportunity to provide more power to the customer base. From an installation standpoint, where it kind of changes things a little bit, we always want to try to be as close to the gas source as possible. Reason why we want to control the flow of the fuel to make sure that, we're able to get proper flow. So when you do have to turn large appliances on, that we're not bogging down or not allowing enough fuel to get to the generator. So you're able to run seamlessly and not have interrupted power whenever you are on backup power.
The neat thing to me, it seems like, is being able to connect these to natural gas or propane. Is it's always hooked up. You're not having to go and fill it up with gas. You're not worried about running out. It's just automatic. It's there and it's clean.
Oh, 100%. That's one thing we've been talking and kind of comparing, a storage option compared to a generator option to a lot of our training classes as we bring in more contractors into the energy storage world that have traditionally been generator dealers. And that's kind of just showing, hey, look, the batteries are just a finite solution because they do have a life in a sense, right? You have X amount of kilowatt hours, and when you exhaust that, the batteries are dead until they're recharged. Whereas if you do have a generator that is connected to an LP or a natural gas source, you kind of have an infinite source of power until till the utility returns. Which is why, again, going back to some earlier comments, is that if you only have short-term power outages, a battery might be a better option. You do have larger duration outages, whether you live in a hurricane zone where you've gone through 5, 7, 10-day outages, the home standby generator is going to be a better option for you.
Right, and sometimes with our solar systems, when the sun is out, they're great. The sun is powering our loads, charging our batteries, and if we are connected to the grid, that's great too. But the grid goes out, we have a storm where our batteries are depleted. It would be nice to also have a generator to be that secondary source of backup power if that's the way we want to go as well. And we do have a question here that I want to get to from Jahan04 from one of our audience members. And we're going to get to that here in just a minute. But we have some inverters that have a 2-wire start, and your generators have that capability to have a 2-wire start when it's either connected through a transfer switch or for a solar system that can automatically start generators. Talk to me a little bit about that.
So with our generators and our controllers we have within the generators, if you do have a system that's already set up with solar and has an inverter or with a battery, we have the ability to be a backup source to either solar or batteries or both. If you're using an inverter and you have a battery backup, you can set the generator up to back up the batteries once they get to a certain depth of discharge, which is typically set at 20%. And then it'll automatically turn the generator on and it will start to charge the batteries. If you have a large enough inverter, you also have the option to potentially also provide power to the home while the generator is also charging the batteries. So it all depends upon what setup you have and what size and what type of inverter you have, and what the capabilities are to help the generator support both the batteries, the solar, and the home.
So Jahan04 specifically wants to know, do all backup generators offer auto start via 2-wire mechanism?
Not everyone does. It's all going to depend on if their controller has the ability to do that or not. If you look at some of our previous generation of generators, we would not have been able to offer that. Whereas with our current Power Protect line with the GC series controller, we have that ability.
And you're specifically talking about the GC 1032 controllers, which each of these Power Protect 13, 18, 22, and 26 kW all do at this point.
Correct. And the reason why I said GC series in general is that we do have 2 versions, and we have an older version of a GC 1031 controller that someone may see out there. You would be able to use that controller as well.
Okay, and if we're not talking about connecting to a solar system, then we have to have the transfer switch for those to go through. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. If you're going to do a traditional standby system where it is the primary source of backup power, you will need to purchase a transfer switch, which will then become basically the brains of the operation, where it'll dictate whether you are running off of utility power or generator power.
Great. And so here at Signature Solar, we have these generators are being sold as bundles with 100 amp, 200 amp, a dual 200 amp transfer switch. And then we also want to talk about a power management system. But talk to me about those transfer switches real quick. What's the difference and how do I know which one I need?
Okay. Well, the bundles that you're going to see there are going to be whole home transfer switches. And that's basically, if you're going to have the generator power up the entire home, you're going to use one of those 2 transfer switches. Typically, what you're going to do, you're going to match whatever size main panel you have at the house. Okay. More often than not, the most popular is going to be a 200 amp panel for most homes. So again, that becomes, you install the transfer switch in between the main house panel and the main meter of the home, and it becomes the main point of disconnect. So again, if you have a 200 amp panel, you're going to have a 200 amp transfer switch. We do have some. It makes life easy. Code is there to help, and we also do offer critical load panels, Or if you would just want to do a generator panel for 16 circuits, we do have a 100 amp 16 circuit panel that you could use for those situations, as well as for some of your energy storage applications as well that require more of a critical loads panel than a full whole home inverter.
Okay. And some of these bundles also come with something called your Symphony Choice Power Management System. Talk to me about that.
So Symphony Choices for us is used for what we call power management, which is taking some of those large electrical loads we talked about earlier and basically managing them during a power outage. How it works is when you're looking at some of these power draws, you have to account for them in your load calculation. If we're able to put a power management module on some of these larger appliances, it allows us to drop them off of the load calculation, so we can put you into a smaller generator in theory, help saving you some costs. What's great about the Symphony Choice is that we're actually a proactive system. So what we're actually doing during utility power is we're actually monitoring the 5 most recent times that the power how much power was used to turn each of these appliances on. But ultimately, when you do have a power outage, that we're able to dictate whether or not we're able to or not able to turn these appliances on based upon the capacity of the generator. So because of that, we're able to turn things on and off and keep you moving seamlessly throughout your power outage. If you look at some of our competitors, they have what we call a reactive system because they're monitoring through frequency. They actually literally have to turn that appliance on under generator power and see how it shocks their system. So what's going to happen if it's a larger appliance and you have a large amount of core load on your generator, it's going to bog down the generator a little bit. And once it bogs down, it's going to drop that appliance. You may have access to it, you may not, you don't know.
Okay.
For some of these longer outages, a lot of competition, they'll actually lock you out of a couple of those appliances if they has to shed it multiple times. We're never going to do that. So we're able to be a smarter generator and a smarter management system, thus making, again, your during prolonged outages, just us having a better option for you to make sure you're living as seamlessly as possible as if you had utility.
So is this something that's happening automatically, or is this something that's being set up when it's installed? How does this happen?
So whenever you do the installation, there is a Symphony Choice kit that is installed into the transfer switch. And then each of the appliances that you need to manage, we place a power management module in line between the appliance and the main home panel. The communication of the system is through power line carrier. So once the system is up and running, the modules are constantly going back and forth and talking to the Symphony Choice kit, which then allows it to figure out how much power it's taking for each appliance to turn on. And essentially just as a math equation, whenever you're under generator power, to dictate whether or not it can or cannot turn something on or off.
It's always nice when somebody else can do the math for you.
Amen.
You know, when I got to an up close look at these for the first time, I was just the most impressed with how easy it really was to access everything for installation and maintenance. So talk to me a little bit about the standout features or highlights of these specific Power Protect line from other generators on the market.
Well, right there you see a picture of the Power Protect 13. That is the smallest footprint on the marketplace. One thing we tout there, it's for applications that might have tight lot lines. If you look at the front venting, that's actually front exhaust. We're the only company that does have a front exhaust on any of our units. So it gives you flexibility to put a generator where potentially you may not be able to in other situations with these horizontal units because of exhaust or sound or whatever the situation might be. Again, one of the biggest things we do tout is going to be our motor starting KVA of all these units. You know, we're able to start a 5-ton air conditioner with a 13 kW. Our competition cannot touch that from a motor starting capability side of things. Our 26.
That little guy right there we're looking at can start a 5-ton air conditioner.
Yes, ma'am.
That's amazing.
Yeah, again, it's the power we're able to get through it. I mean, at the end of the day, our core business was we are an engine company. So we do take pride in being able to produce the most power in this space. That, again, it's going to be our warranty. We're going to put our money where our mouth is. We're going to make sure you have a dependable unit out there. It's going to run. It's going to start when you need it. Obviously, it's a thing of where these guys aren't going to run every day for you. At least, hopefully not. But when it does need to turn on, we want to make sure it's going to start for you and get you the power and the backup power that you need.
But speaking of that, they're not going to run every day. Talk to me about the, is it called Excise?
EcoSize.
EcoSize, that's right. Talk to me about that a little bit.
So EcoSize is just, every generator brand is going to come on once a week for a quick exercise cycle. What it does, it just allows the generator to run some diagnostic on itself to make sure, again, when you do need it, it's going to be able to turn on. Traditionally, even in the past, a lot of our older units have been a 20-minute exercise cycle for once a week, usually on Tuesdays at 2:00 is how we typically set ours. Again, with us being an engine company, working with some of our cross work with some of our engineering teams, our engine folks came to us and said, "Hey, this 20 minutes might be a little bit overkill. So what you can do, we can turn on for 16 seconds, find everything that we need, and then you can shut it down and be done. You're save fuel for the for the end user." And then also what we're doing too is when you get to especially like this time of year in fall and spring where you have larger temperature swings, if you run something that long without putting load on it, you're going to invite moisture into the oil. So what we're doing is we're trying to avoid that so you don't have any type of moisture in the oil when you do have to get up and running as well.
That's great. Doing a quick test to make sure that everything's working smoothly so that it's ready when you need it is a great idea. We do have one last question. We are out of time. Let's answer this question and then we'll wrap it up. George Cook wants to know, does Briggs use their own in-house engines or do they use third parties like Cummins?
So the Vanguard engine that's in every one of our units is a Briggs Stratton engine. It is made in Auburn, Alabama, where our home standbys are also assembled as well. It is, again, as I said earlier in the show, is that it is the #1 commercial air-cooled engine on the planet. So it is ours, and it is one of the things we're most proud of that we produce, to be honest.
That's awesome. John, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us a closer look at the Briggs & Stratton Power Protect generator line. I've been really impressed.
Well, Kelly, thank you for the time. And I know we discussed before, we're excited for the partnership with Signature Solar, and we're excited to see how we can help your customers with whether it be off-grid applications or traditional home standby applications.
Yeah, absolutely. And to everyone watching, thanks so much for being here with us. If you'd like to learn more about these generators and the bundle options, you can visit us at signaturesolar.com. And as always, don't forget to subscribe and follow us at Facebook, Signature Solar US, so you'll never miss an episode of Amp Up Solar Talk. We'll see you next time.